What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. I had a question here from Sean Martin. He says, "Hey Alex, huge fan here. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it." He says, "I have a bachelor's of science in engineering technology, separating from 10 years of active duty. Thank you for your service, my friend." And he says, "Got hired as a structural engineer." The structural engineers. He says, "My question, engineering technology degrees require 4 additional years to get a PE. But that time will be reduced if I get a master's. Is it really worth it? My ultimate goal is to gain practical engineering experience and then be a project manager. So I've been contemplating my PMP, which is the project management certification for those of you who are not familiar." And he says, "What are your thoughts?" Okay, thanks. First of all, thank you for the question. And there's a couple of things that I want to mention here when it comes to your question, Sean. And let's first think about your ultimate goal first, and then we're gonna think backwards. We're gonna reverse engineer it. No pun intended. So you want to become a project manager. Now let's think about the requirements for a project manager. For a project manager, believe it or not, you just need experience. A project management certification, it can definitely help depending on the industry, depending on the company, depending on what kind of work you specifically do. And so overall, right, like high level, like the 30,000 foot view of your situation is that technically you just need experience and maybe a PMP. Now, when it comes to your specific field for structural engineering, then I want to say, based on my conversations with civil engineers in the past, my friend, she's a civil engineer, and she mentioned that in order to become a project manager, at least for her field, you needed to have a professional engineering license, which, good news, you are planning on getting a professional engineering license. So it seems like you're already on the right track. You want to get your PE. Now, in order to get your PE, you're wondering, you will need 4 additional years of experience. But you're trying to reduce that timeline by getting a master's degree. And really, I looked into the requirements, and the master's degree only counts for 1 year of experience. So you will still need 3 years of experience working under a professional engineer. So my point here is that if you get a master's degree, it's only going to be saving you 1 year in order for you to be eligible and get your professional engineering license. Is it really worth it? Well, it really comes down to who's paying for it. You guys know that I'm a big fan and I'm a big proponent for not just getting degrees for the sake of getting them, not just spending your time or even wasting your time on degrees and time and money on degrees that you may not even need in the end. So when it really comes down to it, ask yourself, who's going to be paying for the master's degree? Is it going to be coming out of your pocket? Is the company going to be paying for it? And also, is your master's degree or is your project management position in the future, is that the only reason why you want a master's degree? So I know that it can be a little confusing taking into account all these parameters, but I just want you to take into account, okay, what does it take to get to the project management position? What are other people in your industry and your specific industry doing? And I'm saying this, I'm focusing in and I'm honing into the structural engineering field because I know that you deal with a lot of public projects, and that can be very it's not as straightforward as for somebody that doesn't deal with public safety. So when it comes to structural engineering, my friend, what I would definitely do, and I want to say that the most accurate answer is going to be, look at what other people are doing. What are other project managers in your industry doing? What did your boss do? Is the education required in order to be hired as as a project manager in your company or in your industry? And that's going to be honestly the most accurate prediction of whether or not your master's degree is going to be useful. Of course, it's a no-brainer. If people in your industry and the project managers all have master's degrees and they all have their PMPs, they're most likely to stay competitive. You may have to get those types of certifications in order to stay competitive in that industry. Yeah, so that's what I would do if your ultimate goal is to become a project manager. I want to tell you that in other industries, you don't need a PMP, you don't need a master's degree to become a project manager. I work with project managers in the past that really they just have a bachelor's degree and they have a lot of experience. And the experience is something they picked up working in projects with other project managers or other program managers, as I shared my thoughts on this in the past. And also, let me tell you, you may or may not know this, my friend, but there are some states here in the United States where you can take your professional engineering license test early. As soon as you pass the fundamentals of engineering exam, which I'm assuming you already have it under your belt, you can, or you become eligible to take the professional engineering license test. So make sure that you take advantage of that. Make sure that you at least get that test out of the way. That's what I would do if my state allows it. I would go to the ncees.org website and look at the requirements and see if your state specifically allows you to take that PE test right now. And then you can submit your experience later, either along with your master's degree or without your master's degree. So those are my thoughts in summary. I know that I just went over a lot of stuff. Look at what other people are doing in your industry. Look at your boss, project managers. If you see them that they have masters and project management certifications, then I would definitely consider my masters, but I wouldn't pay for it. I would not pay for that. I would get my company to pay for it or try to do something just so that somebody else gets the bill for the master's degree, because those master's degrees are really, really expensive. So that's all I gotta say here. If you want more insight, more specific guidance, then let me know in the comments below. And if you want to know more about what I think about project management, I'm gonna give you a video right here that you can watch right now. And with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Sean, for the question. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Take care, guys. Peace.